Welcome to the Choose on Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Becky Plautz, and today's conversation is an invitation to slow down, soften, and come home to yourself. And I'm actually adding this intro in here because I am on the show with Ashley Scouten today. And our conversation went so well that I'm cutting it into two parts for you to stay in that slowing down and not feel rushed through the amazing conversation. So, this first part of our talk is exploring what it means to feel safe in your body again, to really listen to your nervous system and to gently release the pressure to be anything other than who you already are. If you've been feeling stretched thin, emotionally tired, or disconnected from your inner world, I want you to know this space was created for you with you in mind. This isn't about fixing yourself. It's about remembering who you are. So take a breath, settle in, and allow this conversation to meet you exactly where you are. Let's take a pause, take a breath, and you're going to hear me introduce Ashley now.
Welcome to the Choose on Purpose podcast. I'm Becky Plautz, and today I get to have a conversation with Ashley Scouten. Hi, Ashley.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Did I say your name right?
Yes. Scouting.
Scouten.
Yep,
Okay.
like a scout.
I literally just went through this with you, and I was like, I think I said it right, and I'm
Yes.
gonna make sure. And now I'm super warm. Like, did I actually F that up? Okay, didn't. We're here. All right. So, if you're watching the video, we are in the same room. Ashley's in the studio today with me, and we're sitting down talking all things the Muse Experience. Ashley being a very intuitive person, a guide. She's very heart-centered, and we love to connect anyway, but she's here today to just kind of share more about her experience and where she's at. So, Ashley, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Okay, so Ashley, I am super grateful that you made the trip to come to get in the studio. It is winter currently while we're recording this, so you just never know what you're gonna get in the Midwest. And we have a beautiful day today. So watching you step into yourself through the Muse Experience, which backstory, Ashley and I had met one time, two times,
Twice. Yep.
two times.
Yep.
Twice we've met in person through mutual friends at events and loved her from the get-go, really connected with her. And actually, our mutual friends even told me like 2 years ago now when we thought we were going to meet and you weren't able to come. And they were like, dang it, I really needed you to meet Ashley. You guys were going to just hit it off. And they just knew it
Yes.
because of our energy that we would be great friends. So backstory is that Ashley and I had mutual friends that knew we would be friends. And we got to hang out a couple times. And yeah, so it's an honor that we've gotten to actually work together now and get to see more about like you coming out of your shell and just like exploring more through coaching and photography and now through the podcast. Ashley, this is your first podcast?
This is, yes. I'm so excited. Thank you.
You all know that I love when I'm people's first. I always say that. Yeah, so yay.
Glad it's you.
Yeah. So we always get the real raw fun experience over here. So Ashley is rocking it coming in on her first podcast today. So um okay, so today isn't about perfection. Let's just get that out there. This is really not about perfection or performance. It's really about presence. So it's about us being here together and arriving. And Ashley is a breath worker too. So we're gonna take a breath and just like arrive because we were chatting behind the scenes and like so giddy, and we're like, we better just freaking hit record because there's so much good stuff here. So I'm just gonna take a minute to like quiet myself because I am like high energy right now. Okay. All right. So brief pause for us there. Okay. In your model call experience, you shared something shifted and that it helped you fan your flame in the inside, your internal flame. And can you take us back there? Like talk about maybe why you said yes to the experience in the first place, or anything you want to share about getting to the point of saying yes, because I know there's a lot that goes around, do I not want to? And so what's really stirring inside you that made you want to say yes to being a part of the experience and to be here today sharing your story?
So, I think that I've always had like a bright flame, and then somewhere along the way, my flame just got dimmed, and then it kind of kept getting dimmed. And really, in the last few years, working on self and just kind of moving through different things, finding energy work, finding breath work, I really realized how much my nervous system wasn't quite in that ideal state of like rest and digest.
Mhm.
And it was just all over the place. Fight, flight, whatever. And I just wasn't able to be present. And then somehow I let that kind of overflow into who I am. So then finding this experience, it's cool. I said to you as I came in how I'd wanted something like this, and I wasn't sure what it looked like, but just kind of capturing me. I turned 40 this year, so that was exciting. And I
Yeah.
just wanted to do something to bring me back to myself fully. And this experience, I saw it several times when you posted it, and each time I was like, nope, nope. And then one day I was like, I'm just doing it. What's the worst? I can't be, or I'm not chosen. So, and I am, and I'm just so grateful for how that's really just illuminated that light and helped shine it brighter inside of me, that I feel like now I can see it, that I can share more.
Mm. I love that you say, and thank you for bringing it back onto the show, because right when you came here and you said that, I was like, dang it, we better just start recording, because that's where the real raw truth came out about how you were feeling coming into the studio again after having, we did virtual coaching leading up to Ashley's photo shoot day, which was a different day than today. So this is the second time Ashley's been at the studio, and now coming back to see your photos in person. So like all of this high energy about like really leaning into where you've been since moving through each part of that. And you did come in and say like, I remember like I wanted this at the beginning of the year, but I didn't know it was this.
Yes.
So like that manifestation, that idea going, coming from you from the inside, that like you knew you were ready. And at this season of life, especially when you're turning 40, like I feel like that's a great like push to say, what can I do for myself to like really step into it? As I was talking about regrowing out my hair for in preparation for when I turn 40, so it's kind of like divine timing, for you to have that. And the fact that you felt there was something that you could do for yourself to like see yourself differently, and that you were open to the possibilities, and then seeing this. And I also love your honesty about like, do I, don't I,
Yes.
do I want to apply for that? Like,
Yes.
so I am curious about that. Like, what part was apprehensive for you?
So I think the biggest thing that I've been working on through the last couple of years, but specifically this year, is like letting my voice out and being
Mhm.
seen. And being seen feels all kinds of ways. It feels really exciting, but then also feels like, ugh, too. That like not knowing, I think sometimes gets me more in my own way than just doing it. So I think that was the thing, is like the not knowing what it would be. And now I'm like so grateful that like past me said, let's do it, because here I am. And now I'm just like so grateful and excited to see how this continues to evolve throughout the time.
I mean, you're evolving right now, going on the podcast,
Yes.
sharing the story and hearing yourself even say, how the journey is going. And I love the honesty in that, because that's a real thing I know it was for me too. Like being heard is a real challenge that humanity, I found like in doing interviews over the years, that is a thread. being seen and heard. It's the
Yes.
using our voice and the tonality, the way that we say things. I was just in an NLP training, 3-day training, and one of the things that just always stuck to me is the third time I did this training, and every time I do remember it, but seeing the numbers always just blows my mind to understand that in communication, only 7% is the words
Sure.
that you use.
Sure.
Only 7%.
Wow.
That means body language and tonality make up way more. It's like
Wow.
38% of your tone and the energy that you put into actually saying the word. Oh, sorry about that. That you say the words that actually is received. So
Oh,
your actual words are less important than the way that you speak them.
sure. And that's a lot of too being seen
Yep.
and not just the heard part.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Isn't that interesting?
that's really
It's
interesting. Only
mind-blowing.
7%.
Only 7% of the
Wow.
words. And our words do matter.
Oh, absolutely.
And to like for me, like keep wrapping my head around it even more to know like I'm naturally sassy and expressive and right. So I'm like understanding that even more and more over the past 2 years that I've done these classes that like I keep hearing the same thing. Like, think about how important that is to
Yeah.
know, like, not just that we're heard, but also that we're getting it across the way we want someone to understand us.
Yes, that's so true. So true.
Yeah. So anyway,
How
fun
cool.
tidbit for y'all.
Yeah.
Look that up. I don't know the exact, I know 7% was the actual words. I think it was 38% and then whatever the math is for the rest of it. But just mind blowing for me to understand that and how important it is for us as people to like know that it's important that we're heard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we don't feel heard a lot of the times because people aren't understanding what we're trying to say
Sure. I can
and
see that.
tone and body language, and then of course there's interpretation of the person, how they're receiving it is the other big part. But anyway,
Very interesting.
yeah. So I want to say thank you for listening to the still voice that was like, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you did meet me twice. Like you knew I wasn't a crazy person but you still had lots of questions. You still
yeah.
like wanted to know all the things and like and trust the fact that like you were going to get to speak. You were going to get to be heard and seen and come into yourself, more. So yeah, what did you reconnect with through this process? What would you say you reconnected with?
So I've done a lot of different inner child work, but I
Yeah.
feel like really connecting with parts of me that like I have maybe labeled like weird or different or things like that that just were big parts of me that were like the creative parts, the fun parts, just
Yeah.
different things like that. Like this past weekend, I'm making gifts for another thing, and I was making salt dough ornaments. And I had a moment that I was like, it kind of felt totally full circle that I was like, who knew that like Ashley in clay class would then fast forward and still be doing similar things, and like I was using some similar techniques to just like smooth things out that I was like, how cool is that? So just kind of reconnecting to parts of myself that maybe had been like shut down, whether it was from me, from others, just different stories that I like run through my head that I'm like, okay, that's not it. Here we are fully in the present and like doing things that make me now and me then so happy. And I think
Yeah.
just kind of seeing that and like I think that's the fan that I feel like or the flame that I'm fanning. Is
Yeah.
like that creative, that like exciting parts of me that maybe I shut down or had listened to people who maybe shut it down for
Yeah.
stories.
Are you saying that you had a clay class like in high school
Yeah,
or something?
yeah.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
clay class in high school.
I was
Yep,
like, wait,
yep,
so
yep.
okay.
So clay class in high school, and I thought I wanted to be like maybe a sculptor, which doing hair is like
Oh,
a similar
yeah.
kind of thing, just a different modality, but keeping that art alive, that it was just neat that I could actually do it in a physical form with not quite clay, the
Yeah.
same thing, but a similar modality that
Still
it was
shaking
really
us.
neat. Yes. Yep, yep, yep.
That's
So
so
yeah, it
fun.
was just really cool. And I
Oh, I
love when
love.
I can like catch myself going back to things that I'm like,
Yeah.
this making me so happy. Like now it makes me happy. It made me happy then. And like just keeping that in my arsenal or whatever to kind of keep going forward of things that I love, hobbies or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So
Like,
just
how can
like,
you bring that forward
yep,
to present?
yes. So kind of
That's
coming back to
great.
parts of me that I had missed or that, I let go at one
Yeah.
point.
Or, we get older, we get more responsibilities and
Yes.
things get shut down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like we keep moving
Yep.
and we grab things, especially in the world that we live in now. Like we're accumulating. You were just talking about
Yes.
purging,
Yes.
right? Like
Yep.
we're accumulating things that, and like I think those purges do happen, or we can't hold everything all the time. So,
Mhm.
but I love to hear that the creativity is what you're picking back up. That's part of, I feel like, um, I hear you saying that's like the part that felt like you're really remembering
Mhm.
creativity and fun and the enjoyment in kind of the mundane type things. I mean, clay class, like you're
Yeah.
like, oh, but it's slowing down and it's not
Yep.
holding a phone and
Yes. Yep. And finding
using
joy
your
in those
hands.
pockets and like pouring like into these items that like then I'm like somebody might put it on their tree or hang it somewhere or they might toss it. But like I
I
had so
doubt
much
it.
fun making this and just putting this together and the intention and just all of that parts and how exciting and
I think that's
fun it
key.
is.
I think you just said something that's key. So I'm going to repeat it in case you missed it. That you talked about the intention that you put in doing it, right?
Yes.
The what did you call the pots? The
Simmer pots. Yes.
simmer pots.
Yep.
Like the way that you are intentionally gathering the pieces, the way that you're softening the clay, the intention that you're infusing and Reiki infusing the things in our life, that's something that Ashley back then didn't understand yet,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
like going through not this process, but all of the process, just your growth journey in general, seeing how these things connect and like intention is the key, right? And that's why this podcast is called Choose on Purpose. It's about living with intention and really setting purpose towards what we're doing. And that's exactly what you're talking about with these gifts that you're like, it's not about, well, what are they going to do with it?
Right.
It's great to think that through. Like, how can it be purposeful? Excuse me. And you're unattached to the fact if someone doesn't like it and they get rid of it. I hear you being detached from the outcome that they choose to put to what you're putting love into.
Yep.
Mm,
Absolutely. And it was so cool as you were saying that.
yeah.
I don't know if it just happened to be, but it was like a little bit brighter. And I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I love when that happens.
Oh,
When it's like, okay, this is needed.
I thought you were like snow falling. I was like, oh
Yes.
no, no,
Nope, just the
just
brightness
brightness.
outside.
I love that. Yeah, that's great. So, okay, so this like this experience specifically, you said being seen, heard, and known feels scary, freeing, and empowering. Those are the words that you used in your form that I had you fill out for me to have some context around keeping us reined in on here. There's some questions to keep us reined in so Becky doesn't go all over the place. Um, but how those emotions, that feeling of scary, freeing, and empowering all at once come up. And I love that because it is all the things. And I feel like that's something over the years of doing photography, 15 years into this, and different variations, not just breakthrough boudoir, but every kind of photography, like people being nervous about being on camera, being seen, and then now tying in the podcast and being heard, like how important that is to understand, like those are real challenges for people that we have an opportunity to break through those. So you've been a stylist for so long, holding space behind the scenes for people like, right? Like, I don't know, people maybe like shout up for the rooftop, like Ashley did my hair, like I look so great for the holidays because she did my hair. But it's still like behind the scenes, like every day that they walk out with their hair like that. And it's like them being more of who they are because you helped shape that for them. So, what has it been like to step into visibility in a new way with what you've been up to?
It's been very empowering.
Yeah.
So I feel like being able to stand in what feels true to me,
Mm.
where instead of maybe like wavering, now I feel like I'm like, no, this is like I saw me this way and I know me this way. So this is what I feel like fully encapsulating that whole thing.
Mhm.
of like me and who I am. And sometimes I'm scared, sometimes I'm excited and anxious. And at the end, sometimes it's just super empowering. So just putting myself out there has been so cool because then it doesn't feel so scary to put myself in other places that I've
Yeah.
known that since we've chatted, I put myself in other different situations that maybe would have been scary. And I'm like, oh, I got this. Like, even if I don't have it, whatever, I'm there, you know? So, yeah.
What and why do you think that is?
Um,
Like, what about that? You said from this experience, it's like, oh, that's like nothing compared to this kind of thing. Like,
yes.
what do you think that is? Is it like, oh, because you did the boudoir shoot and like you've walked through like really seeing yourself differently, the coaching, like is there a specific aspect that you like feel that or
I think it's actually like seeing the pictures and
okay.
seeing me because I feel like, I mean, maybe not everybody, but there's a
Yeah.
story that kind of goes through
Yes.
and like being seen every day, it just being out there and seeing myself
Yeah.
and how I looked, and I look beautiful on the inside and outside. So actually being able to see that
Mm.
visually, the boudoir really helped me kind
Mm-hmm.
of like remember
Mm-hmm.
that, if anything.
Yeah. Do you feel that? Do you
I
feel
do.
like you know,
Yes. Yep. It's
even
like,
on the days that you don't look
yes. Yep.
like those photos
Or
or.
even my brain is telling me different stories.
Yeah.
I'm still like, okay, the chatter's still going on, but I still know.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I always knew, but I forgot
Mm-hmm.
until this whole experience just kind of leading up to it and actually seeing myself and
Yeah.
seeing parts of me that like for so long, I mean, we obviously were close because,
Most days.
but
Yeah.
when you really strip things away
Hmm.
and you don't look at parts of you. I have done some mirror work too to love parts of me that for so long I just wanted to cover up and hide
Yeah.
or be in the shadows or like be kind of on the sidelines. And now I'm like, oh no, I look good and I'm a good person. And here I am. Like, this is what I have to offer. I'm ready to fully step into that. And this
Main
really does
character
that.
energy.
Yes,
That's what I keep
yes,
thinking of.
yes, 100%. Instead of like,
The
okay,
side.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's that like
Mm.
full knowing that even when other things maybe are thrown at me, I
Yeah.
still know that. So it's
Hmm.
that the whole experience, I think, coming back to remembering who the F I am,
That's right. I love that. Thank you for, going into that a little bit because I think, when we say, oh, when I hear people say, oh, I can do this, easier now, I'm like, but what is that? Like I want to like capture like what is that? Because people that are listening, like the women that are like, oh, I could never do that, or my little voice isn't strong enough to say yes, you can,
hmm
and she's still saying no, you can't. So, if anytime I can like get someone just like, okay, let's go there and just really dive into like, but what is that? I want to like bottle that up and like so
Yes.
people can also mirror that back. Like you can mirror that for someone else that's maybe like, I don't think I could. So is there anything that you would say to her right now if she was saying she was stuck on the no, I can't, especially because
Yes.
I have the 15
Yeah. Oh,
Muse
beautiful.
experience right now. So I'm just gonna plug that right now because I feel like this is organically where a great fit would be for you to say like, what would you say to the woman that like comes across that and she's like, yes, no, yes, no. What would you say knowing that you were that person at one point?
Just do it. 100%. Like, it's scary, but once you trust yourself to know that you can do it, like the feeling, I think putting it into words is hard because
Yeah.
it now, like, it's me. Like, I needed to see me in these spaces and to know maybe like who I am and what I'm offering, and I think if you had picked somebody else or I saw the things rolling in and then I would wonder what if, what if, what if, what if. I think that would have created more of a negative story for me
Mm.
than just doing it. and just
Yeah.
being out there and going for it
Mhm.
and like jumping in because why not? And like I'm just so excited to see like where this goes and like how I continue to evolve through this experience and through seeing myself through a different lens and seeing, when you look in the mirror, you look maybe a little different because you're not posing quite right.
Yeah.
But when you pose me, I'm like, oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. Duh. I do like, no, how do I repose that?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
so
didn't give you anything different.
no. So just do it. You're gonna love yourself more.
Mm.
And then I feel like it's just gonna ripple out. Like I definitely see catching myself smiling more and just feeling more alive,
Hmm.
if that makes any sense.
Makes
Enjoy
sense to me.
than just, I don't know.
When you
Because
feel
if you don't know if you don't see yourself in a different lens, I think you just always see yourself the way you see yourself.
right.
So when like we were talking about zooming out,
Yep.
and like now I can see myself on a picture, in a picture that maybe I don't see every day. Like when I work doing hair, I look at myself in the mirror and I look at that person, but I might not be seeing the same thing as that, but that's still me.
Hmm. You're operating more on identity, right? From this place of I am beautiful, I am strong, I am successful, I am
Confident.
capable.
Yes. Yep.
I'm willing to show up because I'm capable of being myself, trusting that whatever's coming, I can handle it.
Yep.
I can be me in this scenario. Whatever is coming, I'm equipped. That's what I
Yes.
hear you saying.
Yes, definitely.
And I love that. Thank you for diving into that because it is hard to put in words. And
It is.
that's why these stories, like having the Muse experience to invite the women that are brave enough to just say like, I think I want to do that thing. Like, tell me more, do the thing, and go through the coaching and then the photo shoot, and then the women that are willing to come on the show and also give a little bit of that, not a little bit, it's a lot. I mean, to hear your actual words and describing it versus like a still clip of, hey, Ashley, give me a testimonial about like, how was it? Hey, it's great. I looked awesome.
Yeah.
This is such a felt experience that I'm helping orchestrate through the coaching, through the photography, through the podcast that I'm so grateful for the women like you that are like, F this. I'm doing it. What's the worst that's going to happen? And I do encourage you guys to think of what's the best that can happen
Yes.
versus what's the worst that can
Yes.
happen.
Yes.
I just want to say that because we naturally think, well, what's the worst that can happen? And I like that the worst that could happen is that I said no, which is very minimal, to like say no. Okay. But that can be rejection and that has a lot of fear around that too, especially when it's
Absolutely.
about like, so I'm rambling, but to your point of, I think it would have felt worse to not give it a chance
Absolutely.
by seeing like someone else was coming to do the Muse call and the experience, and then you could listen to the podcast and like going through the process, and maybe you wouldn't have, but if you would have then thought about regret,
Yes. And what I
what
missed
could
out on.
have
Yeah.
been,
Yep.
and how much that would have actually pained you versus be a little uncomfortable and work through this process with me and trusting yourself. I love that you didn't say trust Becky. She knows what she's doing. I mean, you said that in not that those words because of the posing, but I love that you highlighted trust yourself.
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And for years, like to help people understand that. Thank you for putting the words
Yeah.
there because you say it the best, as someone that was coming in with questions, uncertainty, and like figuring it out, and just being willing to trust the process, trust yourself, and see yourself differently.
Yes. And I think as women too, we tend to, I don't have any human children, but I have dogs
Yeah.
and a husband and a
Yes.
business.
Yes.
And we pour so much into other people. In my business, being a hairstylist, I literally touch people, listen to their stories, listen to things, and I love that I can pour so much into other people, but to be able to pour back into my own cup so that, and that's one thing that I've learned the hard way for
Mm.
so long, is you really can't, and it sounds so cliche, but you really cannot operate from an empty cup. And I have been somebody who has, like, I don't even have a drop left for me, but okay, I'll try and pour it for somebody else.
Mm.
So being able to see myself in this light, to trust myself and to like strengthen the trust muscle or whatever in myself,
Mhm.
to know that it's all going to be better than I ever could have imagined,
Yeah.
and how it ripples out. I think that is the biggest thing, to like pour back into ourselves as women, especially, and
Well, as leaders in general, right? Like
leaders too. Yes. Yep.
you're leading a
Absolutely.
business.
Absolutely.
That's in general. So you saying like, oh, I have my dogs, my husband, my business, like you're leading yourself too to
Yep.
show up for your life in general. Like we're all leaders, whatever aspect that is from. And I heard a friend talk about this, and it just always sticks with me about the cup thing. And to think about the last drops that are in your cup, what are they? Backwash.
Oh, true. True.
Backwash,
Oh my
Ashley.
gosh. Oh my God.
So now
Yeah.
you're gonna give me your backwash?
Yeah.
No. You're gonna refill your damn cup
Yeah.
so that you can have overflow to give me.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I never
You don't
thought
want to give your friends, your
backwash.
clients backwash.
Yeah.
You want us to
Ew.
receive your best. Isn't it such a game
Yes.
changer?
I'm
It's
thinking
not
of
just
like
fill
the,
your cup, but
oh,
it's now think about those last drops. That is backwash.
yeah.
Like,
Yes.
think about the overflow that comes that we give our best. It's not only for us, it's for everybody else, our husbands, our fur babies, our children, our clients, our future clients, the people that are coming to us. We want to give them our best, and we don't give from an empty cup, we give them from overflow.
Yes.
We get ours and they get extra.
Yep. Absolutely.
Isn't that just so empowering to
It
think
is.
about?
Yes.
It changed my life when I had a friend tell me that. I was like,
That it.
gross.
Yes. Yeah. Gross. I wouldn't offer you what's,
Yeah.
ugh.
Next time, I'm just gonna be like, you gonna give me those last
Yeah.
drops?
The
What's this at?
backwash.
Backwash? No, girl.
No.
Yeah. So okay. So my question about this would be like, what emotions did surprise you the most through this experience?
Um, I think the biggest one was like the excitement. The
Yeah.
excitement of like putting together everything and like kind of just gathering and like, okay, well, I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's just see. And
Trusting.
yep, and the excitement of like wanting to know what the pictures look like,
Yeah.
wanting to know what the, I mean, end goal looks like, but
Yeah.
wanting to just see as we were moving through it, it was so fun. And I'm like, these have to be good because it's just been like fun doing it.
Yeah.
So they have to be good. And I think that's the biggest thing, that I didn't know how excited I would be for it, because
Hmm.
I've done a couple other boudoir
Yeah.
experiences, and they just really didn't quite, I didn't know what to expect, I think. And they didn't quite hit the mark of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So I really went in, tried to go in with this with an open mind and really just a clean slate of what this is going to be. And it was just so much fun.
Yeah.
And it was so cool to like look at me and love me fully.
Hmm. That makes my heart so happy.
Yeah.
Okay, and so with oh my gosh, so thinking about that, like I love hearing like people have had other experience, like it isn't the only one. And
Not with you, with a
right,
different
right.
photographer.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. Clarity. Yes. You
Yes.
you had
Yes.
another photo shoot. You did a
Yes.
selfie
Different.
photo shoot. I
Yep.
love that the dynamic when we did your pre-call to see
Hmm.
like if we were aligned in like moving forward than just the post and the application stuff. But you sharing that with me, they're like, oh, I've had, some of aspects of that, and that this was so much more in depth. That makes me happy to hear like the difference, and that's what it's been over the years of me trickling in like how I saw and felt that I really could contribute to someone's life by giving more of a full experience. Um, and that's where like the coaching calls, like because so we did 3 mindset sessions leading up to the photo shoot. That's what the Muse Experience really is. And honestly, that's what my private client sessions are. It's 3 mindset sessions. Actually went through a lot of what my like client that would come in. If you came in and you don't want to share any of your story or any photos, it's a private client. It's $1,111 to have this whole experience and then purchase photos. Okay. That's waived when you come in and you're like, we're going to share the story. We're going to work on it. And I'm transparent about every aspect of how this works, what, the communication is like and the process. And it's part of me getting to show this experience and the transformation and the person stepping into this getting to trust themselves in being seen and being heard, and it's all intentional, it's all on purpose, it's all designed piece by piece to just draw out what's inside of you. So I really feel like, when I hear you talking about that, and because the other experiences that you had with boudoir, we'll just talk about that. You didn't have pre-calls. You didn't have someone drawing out like, why do you want to do this?
Mhm.
What are you looking for to, see growth and like the process, and like what do you want? And like we just kind of subtly moved through that. I feel like that was probably a really important piece of the difference in what maybe you had before and
Absolutely.
to what this was. I mean, aside from even today.
Yes, I agree. I think that how you have made this a full circle experience than just pictures that you look at and then here's your book or whatever it is,
Mhm.
excuse me, at the end, that was huge because not only did I get to connect with you,
Mhm.
so then you weren't just a stranger taking pictures.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but I kind of knew the energy that I wanted to create because you helped me create that energy around
Yeah.
that and like the vibe that we wanted and different things like that. And I don't know in the past experiences that there was that, or maybe I didn't put as much attention or intention into it
Mhm.
because there was nerves or whatever it kind of was. So I feel like your whole experience really has just helped it be more exciting than just taking pictures and looking at the end
Yeah.
experience. It really was the whole person that I was working on instead of just the visual aspect.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for that. I think that's exactly what I'm going for, right? That is the absolute purpose of me continuing to evolve as the confidence coach and photographer, and really bringing these little aspects of me that are powerful, and like how can I do that in a way that really serves my clients at a high level, that isn't only, hey, I'm a photographer and I take a picture of you. It has never been what's interested me, what my passion has been, because I want to connect with you in person. I want to be like in there celebrating the growth that we have, because it is so powerful to see ourselves anew and from different perspectives. So
Absolutely.
I love that. What limiting beliefs? I have another question here. What limiting beliefs did you start noticing as you stepped forward through this process? Even like the maybe after even the first call that we had, just the pre-call,
Yeah.
like what limiting beliefs did you start to notice through the process?
I think like what we had talked about before we started recording, but just putting myself in a box or in
Mm,
a container and like thinking that was kind of the only thing. Like shifting the paradigm really has been so helpful for me as a whole, but really shining light on different limiting beliefs. But I think that's the biggest one is how much I stand in my own way.
mm,
That whether it's a fear, a story, something that I'm making up, again, that like worst case scenarioing it that never happens, that like that right there is a huge limiting belief
yeah.
too. Like you even just shining a light again on what's the best that can happen. Like, oh yeah, what is the best that can happen instead of just, oh, well, what's worst case?
Yeah, because you
So,
deserve the best.
yes,
And I question the word deserve, but like we all can have the best.
absolutely.
So I love that you brought that back up too.
And there's a saying that another person that another mentor had shared is the better it gets, the better it gets. And I just keep
Mm,
thinking that. And this experience too, like if the other ones were priming me for this, like
yeah.
it just got better and better.
Yeah.
So,
Where do we go from here?
yeah,
Better.
better. Whatever better is, I'm open to the new, like you said.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, is there anything else that you were noticing? And I want to say I love that you pointed out that we talked about this before we were recording because I forget like what did we actually say on
I
here?
think I
Because we
think
were
it was before.
but I think it was before when you said I
Yeah.
was like you're right, it was before. And I want to just highlight what I said that you it looked like you thought it was really powerful to have this awareness with the jar. And we're talking about the box and you mentioned, I'm in my box and this is what I think I know. And it is what we know because we can't see outside of our box. We're in it. And I was sharing with Ashley, and I'm going to repeat it here for all of us as this reminder, because this is evergreen content, baby. Um, and that I had a mentor explain it to me as a jar, and there's instructions on the outside of our jar or a box, right? Like thinking about like macaroni and cheese box, whatever it is, there's instructions on the outside, but we're on the inside. So we don't know what's on the outside of this label. And we were talking about the jar being really powerful because there are certain points on the jars of sauce or salsa or whatever it is that you can see outside, right? And so it's just a really powerful metaphor and a visual to see like we limit ourselves. And I'd love that you brought that back up to say like that was one of the things, we put ourselves in these containers and we think this is who we are. And the reminder that we're infinite.
Hmm.
We are here to grow and evolve and continue to be better.
Yes. And there also is like a quote or whatever that I learned from my mentor. When you're in your comfort zone, you really start to rot. And
Mm,
that was very true for me. Like
mm.
just being in autopilot, just going through, like we were talking about before, scrolling, just kind of like going with whatever it is, just on autopilot is so detrimental, really.
Mm-hmm.
And that right there, I mean, that's like a limiting space to be in. So stepping outside of the comfort zone is so freeing and so beautiful and so powerful. And like now, when I have a limiting belief, I'm kind of like, well, I've done something different. This has worked.
Yeah.
Let's try it.
Yeah. It could only get better. Like I
Yes.
like I
Yes.
like thinking about that frame of
Yes.
mind. It can only get better.
Yep.
And I say that to clients and friends that I know they're like at super low when they're at super low points. I'm like, well, this is shitty. And
Hmm.
you know what's great about feeling like rock bottom or like starting fresh? There's only one way to go, baby, and
Yep.
that's up.
Yep.
So let's go.
Absolutely.
Let's build new.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, so I love that. Okay, I'm gonna move to my next question because I was gonna go on a squirrel. Okay, so one thing that really stood out to me is how you talked about nervous system, especially operating from that rest and digest that you mentioned at the very beginning of the episode. Why does that feel so important to you right now?
I think the biggest reason it feels so important is from living in that fight or flight, that freeze fawn response, really just not having that stable footing or like being confident in myself. Now that I can trust myself, I am at a space where I'm not worst case scenarioing everything. I can actually be present and I can make decisions and just be a better human.
Mm,
And for me, that was a big part of regulating my nervous system because it was so off kilter. And I let it kind of shift me with whatever way things went. And now I'm able to like stand on 2 feet and be like, okay, well, this doesn't have to really rock me like it may have in the past. I'm confident that I can do the thing.
it can rock you without knocking you
Yes,
down.
yes, yep, yep.
Yeah.
Like the weeble wobble.
Yeah.
weeble wobbles, but they come back
They
up
can
or
bounce
whatever. Yeah,
back.
yep. Whoop. That's what I think of, like the one of those little punching bags,
Yeah.
that's got the whoop, I'm coming right
A
back.
little weighted.
Yes.
The wobble.
Yep.
I love that. Okay, so uh, and I totally agree with you on that, like the grounding piece of it. So is that to kind of bring that is that breath work?
I
Is
would
that what is that?
I think yes, breath work has definitely helped me immensely to kind of shift that. I think also a lot of the work that I've done, I've really poured into
On
myself,
yourself.
on
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. And now being able to see nuggets and glimmers of how it's working instead of when
Yeah.
my nervous system was so unregulated. I had so much evidence of how things weren't working, or I could
Mm,
see what wasn't working. And then I kind of latched onto that, or latched onto that story, latched onto that limiting belief, where now that everything's not screaming inside of me and I'm calm and centered, like you said, things can happen around me. And I'm like, okay,
you're grounded.
all
You're
right.
anchored.
And
Mm.
coming back to knowing who I am and anchoring into that instead of wavering.
What does everyone else want
Yes.
Ashley to
Yep.
be or
Yes. And
need Ashley to be?
I think the people pleaser in me, it's
Yeah.
getting, she's, she's still here and I'm learning to love her and give her space, but also she's not so loud anymore.
Mhm.
She's not the first one to show up. It's like,
Mm,
oof, oof. Okay. In certain scenarios, I'm like, well, this is going to be how I pour
yeah.
from my full cup instead of depleting.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing that I've seen personally with my nervous system
Mm,
shifting is just how I operate. Instead of the reactionary, I'm responding,
yeah. And I love that you
which I
talked
mean,
about
I
seeing
still
that.
sometimes
Right, right.
can get
I was just gonna say,
reactionary.
right.
Like I'm a human
We're
and
practicing these
yeah,
things, baby.
and
We are
it's a daily, sometimes minutely thing.
yes.
But now
Because we can
having
get
the
knocked out of
awareness,
it.
yep, yep, now having the awareness, I'm able to pull myself back into this space because that space feels so foreign to me
Mm-hmm.
that I'm like, nope, let's come back.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, center. And sometimes I even do. Like, I'll just be like, all right, I need to like put my feet on the ground, take a couple deep breaths, breathe in. And then I'm like, oh, I can calmly even before we started the podcast, I did a little bit of shaking because I'm like, there's just so much exciting nervous energy that I
Yeah.
like, but I'm confident in who I am, calm, and
Mm-hmm.
here we go.
Yeah. And again, you went back to identity.
Yes.
So it wasn't like, oh, I know all the things. No, it was I am confident,
Yes.
all of that. So that's identity work, which is beautiful and anchoring in itself to just have that reminder, that you can go back to that well inside you. Like, I can find that
Yep.
resource inside me.
Yep.
I can
That's
move
one
through
thing
that.
that I teach and share when I do breath work is that like
Yeah.
even if the only thing you get out of this session today is that you can put a hand on your heart and a hand on your belly,
Mm.
take a couple big belly breaths and just center into yourself before you make a decision,
Mm.
before you go into the world, just coming back to you. And for so long I operated on, okay, what do you, oh,
Are you okay?
well,
Yeah.
yeah, out and then came in. And when I went out and came back in, I learned there wasn't a whole lot left
Yeah.
because it was the stories, it was the whatever. So really having that nervous system being regulated has been just so much
Yeah.
more powerful for me too, to
Mm.
even step into this space.
Yeah.
My nervous system, I don't think a year ago, 2 years ago, I don't think I would have been able to handle that because it would have been too scary. It would have been way too foreign and like not something that I would even entertain the idea of doing.
You just like sparked in me even like this is why breath work and the work that you're doing is something that I've been working towards for myself to like see how I can, be around more people that are doing that because exactly that. For a long time, I feel like I was around people that wouldn't even entertain it because of that,
Sure.
because they need to do their self-work.
Yes.
And the breath and the anchoring and trusting themselves. Trust is a huge thing that I help people like get anchored in when I'm doing confidence and action coaching. And um so we're gonna put a plug in right now. Like, where can people connect with you? Because you do breath work.
I do, yes.
So anyone that's listening that's like, oh, I need to regulate my nervous system and stuff too, like get
I
connected
can
with
help.
Ashley.
Yes.
Yes. So where is a good place to stay like connected to you for things that come out in the future? Because this is evergreen. So
yes.
where's a good place?
Probably Instagram or Facebook. So Movica Hair Studio is my current salon name, and then Ashley Movica Hair Studio is my Instagram. That may look a little bit different as we evolve into 2026. I got some ideas and some plans, but that is the best way, I think, to connect to me.
Yeah.
Is reaching out, DM. I do have random things that I'm collaborating with different people with breathwork. I'm also in the works of offering some other things that maybe virtually people can access me without being in person. Currently, I do in my studio, I have an alignment journey, which is Reiki and breathwork combination. And that can be in studio, also virtual. I love in studio energy. It just, we can harness more. I feel like we like work more with the energy that's actually physical and tangible, where energy has no space and time. So virtual does work as well. But that's just, I feel like, when the best sessions happen. So
I love that. Okay, and so I will have that in the show notes if you're like, oh, what was it? Where do I will have Ashley's information in the show notes, and Instagram is your jam, right?
yes.
Instagram.
Yep.
So I'll have her handle and everything.
We are holding space that this episode has been powerful for you, getting to slow down and come home to yourself. And before you move on with your day, we invite you to pause. Ask yourself, where am I craving more safety, more softness, or more presence in my life right now? If this conversation with Ashley and I resonated with you and you're longing for consistent engagement, reflection, and grounded reminders, I invite you to be sure that you join the Confidence Catalyst Weekly Boost. It's a free weekly email delivered every Tuesday morning with the newest episodes of the podcast, supportive insights, and invitations to deepen your relationship with yourself. You don't have to do this alone. And the link is waiting for you in the show notes. Make sure you connect with Ashley, make sure you connect with myself, and get on the weekly Catalyst Boost. And we'll see you in part 2 with Ashley.